Alright, video number 3. This time we are working with household vinegar, of which we do not know the concentration. I do know, however, that it's going to be more concentrated than the hydrochloric acid that we used. So you'll notice that instead of using 10 milliliters, I ended up using 2.000 milliliters using this particular volumetric pipette. So it is in this container over here with the stir plate. We're going to turn the stir down just a little bit so it doesn't have to stir so much. And I also added some water so that way the liquid level would be at the same height as the bulb or higher. You'll notice that when we start out, we have a pH starting out at about 1.63. And I'm going to do like we did the first experiment with the hydrochloric acid and add half milliliter increments. So here we go. We're currently at 0.00 milliliters of sodium hydroxide added. We are now at 0.5 milliliters of sodium hydroxide added. .0 milliliters of sodium hydroxide added. 1.5 milliliters. Two milliliters. Two and a half milliliters. Three milliliters. 3.5 milliliters. 4 milliliters. 4.5 milliliters. 5 milliliters. 5.5 milliliters. 6 milliliters. 6.5 milliliters. 7 milliliters. 7.5 milliliters. 8 milliliters. 8.5 milliliters. 9 milliliters. 9.5 milliliters. 10 milliliters. 10.5 milliliters. 11 milliliters. 11.5 milliliters. 12 milliliters. 12.5 milliliters. 13 milliliters. 13.5 milliliters. 14 milliliters. 14.5 milliliters. 15 15 milliliters. Starting to get our spike. 15.5 milliliters. 16 milliliters. 16.5 milliliters. 17 milliliters. 17.5 milliliters. 18 milliliters. 18.5 milliliters. 19 milliliters. 19.5 milliliters. 20 milliliters. All right, that ought to do it for this particular titration. Once again, we titrated an unknown concentration of household vinegar. Total volume of 2 milliliters were used in some water of acetic acid and was titrated with a strong base of sodium hydroxide, which we standardized last week.